Hey guys, it's Mike from Job Ready English. We help international students and increasingly lots of students get hired. In the Past the Interview series, we break down.
So, who broke it? I'm not mad, I just want to know.
The process, the questions, and a way to think about answering those questions for world famous company. Let's talk about, tell me about a recent piece of news. This is a question that we've noticed come up more and more for different companies. And why is that? Well, if you want to work in a bank, you really want to be engrossed in the financial markets. Now, I don't mean reading the Financial Times every day, but you could just subscribe to a daily email blast, even a weekly email blast. If you're not that finance literate, I highly recommend starting with somewhere like BBC Business or Reuters instead of diving straight into the deep end of a Bloomberg or a CNBC. Tell me about a recent piece of news which has affected the insurance or pensions industry. Now, great question. For any industry and for any company, you always want to have a little bit of the read of a news that is relevant to that company and to that industry. You don't have to understand it really in depth. And what I recommend is that, say, for example, you want to learn about the insurance industry, then just type into Google insurance industry news, because there's going to be a website for that. There's going to be somewhere where you can go and just learn specifically about the issue. And what I'd say to you is pick out a story that really speaks to you, something that you find interesting, or at the bare minimum that you think is simple to explain. Because just remember, if it's simple, then you're more likely to remember it and to be able to deliver the answer fluently. Tell me about a recent piece of financial news. Now, why could this be asked? Generally, if we're dealing with kind of front office-y roles, middle office, so front office is that kind of investment banking, corporate finance, equity research, these types of roles. Well, really, that's going to be your business. Your business is knowing what's going on in the markets and being able to assist clients and make decisions based upon that. So knowing about the financial news would be really good. Now, for me, a really easy way to look at this, and I spoke to a client about this recently, and she was like, I tried to read the Financial Times every day and then my head exploded. I was like, dude, no one's got the time for that, right? Unless that's literally your job. So what I recommend that you do is just read BBC Business News. Like, start off with something that's really simple, standardize, and then if you feel like you want to level up after a while, then go on and do that. But start small. Like, don't start with, I read the Financial Times every day, or I read The Economist. I tried to read The Economist every month because I was like, oh my God, I'd be super smart if I read The Economist. Do you know what happened? I had like 7 weeks of economists just staring back at me. This was during lockdown, and I was just, they were just looking at me just going, I don't think you want to subscribe to me, and I just cancelled the subscription. Next one is describe a current event impacting the industry. Now, we've talked about this before in other investment banking interviews, and this is really common. More and more so, I suppose this hasn't really changed since I first started prepping candidates in 2013. Banks always want candidates who are on the pulse, because naturally you're going to get in, you're going to go through the markets wherever you are, front, middle or back office, and then you're going to reset and come back and do that again. And banks want people who are interested in finance. And to be honest, some people aren't interested. Me personally, I'm not that interested. It's just not really my thing. I've gone through that phase. And if that's not you, you're at least going to have to try and fake it to make it, and make sure that you keep up to date by, if you're really not that like familiar with Bloomberg or CNBC, or, you know, even sort of more complicated as the Financial Times or The Economist, just read BBC Business News. Just go on to bbc.co.uk, click on business and see what's going on. And there's some really simple language and terms which can be defined there. And you can also cross-check that with Investopedia. On the other side, for those who are financially sophisticated who are watching this, you don't need to go overboard. You don't need to really dig into the minutiae of it. Probably you've already got the knowledge. And if you're, say, for example, I have I have dealt with clients who are trading on a daily basis. They are very much au fait with the markets and what's going on. And for them, it's just about picking one thing and simplifying that. Now, the fifth question that comes up is kind of the fifth and sixth question, because expect to potentially answer a question about a recent piece of news or a recent advancement or something specific to the industry that you're working in. This comes up a lot in technology. So we see this time and time again, where really any kind of technology graduate program and a consulting program as well, they want to see that your finger's on the pulse. A lot of people want to work in consulting, but actually when we speak to them and say, okay, great, like, tell me about a piece of technology you're excited working in. Tell me about something innovative that's going on right now in your industry. They don't really know anything, and it's kind of false. It's what we sort of define as incongruence, because you're saying that you really want to do this thing, but you're not doing it. It's like somebody sitting there shoveling donuts in their mouth saying, I've really got to lose weight. I'll do it tomorrow. And then you come back the next day and your housemate is there like chowing down on a family bag of Doritos and drinking full fat Coke, and you just think, well, that's incongruent. It doesn't, what you're doing does not match what you say that you're going to do. And within that, you should expect at least one role related question. Don't expect it to be technical. It might be, what do you know about audit? What do you know about the qualifications that you're going to take? Tell me about your coding experience. Tell me about your experience of working in this industry. They're going to be light touch questions. So sometimes we have candidates come to us and be like, oh my God, I don't know anything about audit. I've never sat the ACA exams. And like, dude, that's not the point. That's not what they're asking. But they want you to kind of know what it is, to know about the exams that you're taking. Give an example of how technology will help you in your work. This is a fabulous question. We're seeing this more and more in terms of, new technology that you use, technology that you're excited about, how technology is changing the world around us. And of course, this is really a common element for all of the big companies who are, I wouldn't say increasingly, but more and more, they're concentrating on graduates who are technology focused. So do your homework, do a little bit of commercial reading, go and have a look at BBC News, have a look at something like The Verge or Hacker News, Y Combinator, whatever it may be, but make sure that you're reading a little bit outside of your comfort zone. And if you use technology, even better. If you have technical skills, tell me what those are. So recently we've dealt with quite a few clients who are focused on technology, software engineering or artificial intelligence. And what I always say to those candidates is, how long have you coded for? What have you done? Explain it to me. Don't just say, I am proficient in artificial intelligence algorithms. I don't know what that means. It's like you saying, I can make a sandwich. What type of sandwich? Or I can cook. What can you cook? Well, I'm a Michelin star chef. Okay, so now we have distinctions and categories of information. Try to be specific and not to go into too much detail. What are your abilities that will help you adapt to the role? Awesome. So I'm just going to take that job description. I'm going to pick out the skills. I'm going to say, well, I've got really good attention to detail, or, I'm a fast learner, or I'm really good at working with people, and so on and so forth. This is something that seems to come up quite a few times, which is introduce yourself to new colleagues, partners, or the team manager. Something that we do with our clients is one of the first things that we teach them is how to do a personal introduction. Because for me, this is a really powerful tool in terms of learning to sell yourself. It's really difficult, right?
Allow myself to introduce myself.
So whenever I introduce myself to people, not that it happens actually that much these days, maybe I'm in the office or someone says, what do you do? I say, hi, my name's Mike. I am founder of Job Ready English. We help international students succeed. We help international students find jobs in the UK through rigorous methodology, framework and data. I've done that for 7 years. I have 10 years management experience working across education, construction and retail, and I love what I do. And then I might talk a little bit about my experience, my hobbies. It's something to kind of think about when you're thinking about a personal introduction. Who are you? And give me a little bit of context. You might say, hi, my name's Steve. I recently finished a biomechanical engineering degree at Warwick University. Okay, that's context. So what would you say before? Well, I'm from China. where I studied fluid mechanics at Nanjing University. You say, what do you want to do? Why are you here? So I'm here to work as part of the risk and analytics team. I have good proficiency around SQL, Tableau, Excel, and also Python. And also then you might talk about your previous projects that you've worked on, your previous work experience, but all the time you're kind of thinking about this goal, which is, I'm selling myself to be somebody who's effective, somebody who you want to work with, and also somebody who basically knows what they're doing, right? Whenever somebody presents themselves, we really judge them as being effective or non-effective. Also judge people to be, entertaining or aesthetically pleasing. But in a work context, I'm essentially thinking like, are you effective? Can you help me to reach my goals? If not, I'm not really that interested in. And being able to present yourself in a really crisp and clear way is so important. If you like this video, click like, drop us a comment, and make sure you subscribe and hit that bell so you get notified whenever we release videos. Bye.